talking to you today about postpartum shedding, balding, hair fall, whichever you feel is going to. I know for me, when I was pregnant, was what, and after I had my son, I'm sorry, it was whatever made me feel better. So I just wanted to say postpartum excessive shedding. That felt good to say to me because it felt better than saying balding. It's whatever feels good to you, you know. It ain't, I've been through the process, you know, so I've gone through it. So it's not me being insensitive to anybody that's going through it or any of that, because I've been through it. So I'm not insensitive. You see by my thumbnail. But anyway, since I've gone through it, I am able to tell you a lot about how to get through the process of the postpartum shedding, because it is such a dreadful experience, because you lose your hair in spots you don't expect it. And when you're pregnant, you know, at least for me, like, nobody really put an emphasis on the postpartum shedding. They're just like, you know, the symptoms you feel during and after, it's like, no, your body's still healing. You feel all of that, and not just your body, your hair is healing, because it goes through the postpartum excessive shedding, hair fall, balding, whatever one you want to call it. A lot of people go through it, but then you have some people that don't. You may be blessed and be one of those people that doesn't go through it. So this video is still helpful to someone that is. You can, you know, give them this information. But if you've gone through it, or, you know, you are going through it, then you know what I mean and like this video as well. So we are going to talk about it. I'm just going to give you a little bit of background about what happened in that thumbnail picture where I had this short curly cut and coily cut and the balding edges. Literally, I had my son. I got a set of large box braids put in my hair after I had him, because I was just tired. I had to nurse my son, and nursing him, breastfeeding him, that takes up your time because you up in the middle of the night and things like that. And I just wanted to get up and go kind of style, so I did the box braids. What I didn't know from that was when my postpartum shedding started, after I got, like, while I was in those box braids and even after. So I went to my hairdresser, and when I went to her, I said, you know, how does my hair look? She said, it's like, look like it fell out a lot. So I didn't get offended by that. I'm going to tell you about the comment that I did get offended by. And it was just like that. I felt that there was an insensitivity in that moment when she made the comment. So I went back again to get my hair done, and she had saw me. And at that point, my edges had started falling out, like what you saw in the thumbnail. And she just was like, you know, you're bold. Like, your edges fell out, and there's no edges right there, and you're wearing your hair in ponytails. I didn't get offended because she was stating the obvious. I got offended because it's like, why are you putting emphasis on that? And you are the hairdresser, and you're supposed to be helping me with this issue. It's like, I feel like sometimes hairdressers are insensitive to certain things. It's like they don't speak to you with kindness. They just be like, oh, well, this is what's going on. It's like they're kind of rude. Like, they don't speak to you with kindness. I've even seen it with, like, people that are, like, world-renowned hairdressers. Like, their titles, their videos, I'm like, why are you talking about your client's hair like that? And it's just like, if I was looking for a hairdresser, I wouldn't go to you, because look how you're talking about your client's hair. When I get in their chair, I'm having an issue with my hair, you're going to say the same thing about me. Or you're going to look at my hair as a bad thing because it's not healthy at that moment. But it's not what you say, is how you say it. I'm not going too much in a rant, because I got a video on why I don't go to hairdressers, and that'll be in the description box. Anyway, I got offended, and that was the start of like, I don't know if I'm going to keep going to her. So I just was like, oh, I don't know what to do. She was like, well, don't do that natural stuff, because that breaks your hair off. You know, I beg to differ. But anyway, I have my thoughts about that, and I can miss in the video. But anyway, I thought to fix the issue, if I just big chop my hair, because I was like, wanted something new anyway, and I was thinking about it. I kept looking at pictures. Let me big chop. I big chopped my hair, and it didn't fix the issue. I had, as you can see in the thumbnail, it didn't really have edges, and my hair was short because I had just chopped it because it was already falling out. So you can fix the postpartum shedding. Is cutting all your hair going to fix it? Not really. it's not really going to speed up the process because your hair has to fall out. That's hair from when you were pregnant, when your hormones in your body was different. There's an influx and everything. Your body is trying to get back to, I feel like I'm not in the camera. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm like, I feel like I'm not in the camera. Okay. Your body is trying to get back to balancing out to before you got pregnant with the baby or baby. Some people have twins, triplets, whatever. So your body's trying to get back to that. You cutting your hair is not really going to fix the issue because your body naturally still has to do what it needs to do. So if you cut your hair and you're like, yo, it didn't fix it, your body still has to naturally do what it's going to do, which is the hair is going to fall. When I researched postpartum shedding, hair loss, hair fall, they said the time between it is it starts 3 months allegedly after you have the baby. I say allegedly because everybody's body is different. And then by the first year, the baby's first birthday, that's when you should see improvement. Allegedly. Again, everybody's body is different. It might say that to give you hope, but you got to go based on your body. If you've never been through it, you don't know how long it's going to take. Everything is different every time you have a kid. So I'm just giving those types of facts. Maybe I'll do a video on things to expect when you are pregnant. I don't know. Because everybody's body is different, and I'm not a scientist, and then I think people are going to be trying to do claims and things like that. I don't know. Y'all put that in the comments if y'all want that video on what to expect with your natural hair when you're pregnant and after you're pregnant, and I'll do that. But we just going to keep it on. So, in the process of all that my hair has gone through, right? Because it didn't improve on my son's first birthday. I definitely was still dealing with hair loss, no matter what I was doing. I'm going to tell you what to do, good tips that I wish I would have known when I was going through the process, because, you can't control it. It's excessive. So you're going to panic a little bit, so some people are like, oh, well, I can't carry, a baby because I don't want to if they don't want to deal with the physical things you go through. But carrying babies, that's like one of the most beautiful things you can ever do. So I wouldn't even care about the hair falling out. It's going to grow back. So, there's that. But anyway, back to the tips. We're going to get started. Tip number 1 is time and patience. They go hand in hand. They are buddies. They're going to be your best friend on your natural hair journey and on this journey to grow your hair back from postpartum shedding and balding. Time and patience. You got to just let your body do its thing. You can't speed up the process. You can't stop when your hair is going to fall. It's just going to do it because that's just naturally what happens after you have a baby. If that happens to you, if it doesn't, God bless you. You're one of the few in the world that don't go through that. But time and patience. You're going to need time. Time is the only thing that is on your side at that moment. Because time is going to be the determining factor of how long you go through it, and what exactly are you doing, and what are you doing by trying to help it? Are you adding fuel to the fire? Are you really helping it? Time and patience. You can't speed it up any faster. You got to let it do its thing. It's uncomfortable. Nobody wants bald spots. Nobody wants to lose their edges. Nobody wants their hair to fall out. Time and patience are your friend. Next thing, make sure you are drinking plenty of water, fruits, vegetables, eating a good, healthy diet. It sounds crazy because you don't want that. You like, yo, I want this, I want that. But it's like, no, it's not just for your body. It's for your hair too. If like my favorite YouTuber, her name is Christian. I forgot her last name, but I tagged her. I put her video in the description box of my last video I just dropped. She said it. You can't grow waist-length hair eating honey buns and hot Cheetos. Like, it's just not, you might be one of the exceptions to the rule, but like, you got to eat a healthy diet. Water. You need to be drinking water. That should be included. Once you drink the water, like, that's going to help out as well. Our body is made of water. We should be drinking it. Even if you don't like regular water, you can drink sparkling water. I drink unsweetened flavored sparkling water, and I love it, and that's how I drink my water. So water is your friend. Fruits and vegetables, they are your friend. The next thing I want to say is make sure you're using herbs and oils. There are herbs and oils, and you can use those to put on your edges or wherever you lost hair at on your scalp, and massage that in so that it can send a message to your brain for that blood flow to come and to wake your hair follicles up that are sleeping so that your hair can start to grow in that area. So you want to make sure you're using herbs. Chebe is a good one too. When I stop using Chebe, my hair is completely different than when I start using it again. I don't really get shedding with Chebe versus like when I don't use it, I get a lot more shedding. That's a really good herb. You can use it in your deep conditioner. Just make sure that you are co-washing after. They even have Chebe butters that they sell. Like they up in the ante with different hair products. You just look for that on the market. I go to Sahel Cosmetics. I order from them. You can get that on Amazon as well, and you can order it, and that is like a miracle herb. I haven't seen anybody get bad results from it. It's an herb from Chad, Africa, so it's really, really good. And Sahel Cosmetics, they give you pure Chebe powder, and you can tell by the smell of that thing. That thing is pure. So there's that. Different herbs will help as well, because how I got into it, and that's what's helped me. Also, the next thing is avoid excessive tight styles. I know we want to be laid and slayed down and we need to have these tight braids, but try to opt for styles that are not as tight. You want box braids? Get knotless box braids. You want lemonade braids? Those are cool. They're plaited braids, as we call them, as I call them. You can do these locks like this. There's safe and effective ways to do it without damaging your hair. I'll do a tutorial if you guys want it. Drop it in the description box and I'll give y'all one in the near future. There's so many different styles, but opt for looser styles. Like, you could do like a loose bun. It don't have to be so tight. I know society has brainwashed us that we got to have everything laid and straight and it got to be perfect. And it's just like, no. My locks look really natural when I don't lay the edges. I'm not laying my edges every day. Some days I just kind of just leave it alone because I'm just like, well, most of the time, because I'm like with the locks, it looks natural. And anybody I know that has locks, they don't really lay their edges down. They probably started doing it because it's a phenomenon that started. But you don't have to lay your edges down. It can look even more natural without the edge control. You got to put that edge brush down and that edge control down sometimes. If you're going on a special like date or it's an occasion or something like that, then yeah, you can do that, girl. But on a regular basis, you don't need to do that all the time. It's the summertime, and if you got natural hair and you laying your edges down, that edge control and stuff is going to come right back up. It don't stay laid forever unless you press your hair out or something like that. So definitely just opt for looser hairstyles, especially around the areas that, are your edges where you may have lost it or whatever. The next thing I want to say is, we want to conceal it sometimes because we don't want anybody to know that our hair is falling out or that it looks crazy. What you can do is you could do loose buns. You can do wash and goes. You can do natural styles like twist outs, braid outs, things like that to kind of conceal that. If you don't want anybody to see it, just make sure it's not tight. The next thing that I want to say is when it comes to, growing your edges and out or whatever, when you've lost the hair, you want to deal with people that say, yo, she going bald or please ignore those people. And I think for me, that was why I wanted to stop my natural hair journey, because I'm like, dang, I already don't have no edges, and then I done big chop. Like, what did I just do? But it was like, I'm glad I didn't stop. I wouldn't be here to help y'all through this. Ignore them. And remember that it's just hair and it's going to grow back. Unless you have a medical condition that is causing your hair not to be able to grow, your hair is going to grow back. It is not the end of the world because your hair is falling out and you got to start. It's not the end of the world. I'm telling you, because I've gone through many times, even before having my son, where my hair is falling out. And guess what it did? It grew back. It's going to grow back. It's not the end of the world. Some people are so attached to it, or their identity comes in it, or it feels so good that we've grown our hair longer, we've come so far and we've put the work in, so I get it. But if you have a setback, like postpartum shedding and things like that, don't worry. Your setback is basically setting you up for your blessing, for your hair to be even better once you come out of that stage. And it doesn't last forever. You have to remember that too. Postpartum shedding is not something that lasts forever. It didn't last forever with me. It's just you can hinder it if you are doing things that are not good. The other thing I want to say is with the laying of the edges, I gotta go back to that. Put that brush and those tools down. You don't have to do it every time. Just put it down. Put it down. You probably got it in your hand as you watching me talk. Put it down. You don't have to do it all the time. If your edges is not laid, it's not gonna be World War III. Okay? You're gonna be all right. If your edges are not laid down all the time, put it down. Don't do it all the time. I tell y'all that all the time in the videos. If you want to see growth and you don't want to see damage, put it down. Because the thing is, you are adding fuel to the fire. You like sweeping and brushing everything away that you're doing when you do it every day versus when you do it in moderation. Too much of anything is not good. It's the same thing when hair starts growing. And like, I used to get so hyped. I was like, oh, I could put my hair in 2 buns. I got some length. And like, girl, my edges, I barely had edges. They were very thin. And I was like trying to brush up what was there. Don't make that mistake I did. Just put it down. You don't need to lay them down. You're going to be all right if you don't lay them down. People that like their edges laid, fine. But I find that my edges do a lot better when I'm not constantly laying them down. Put the edge control down. Put the brush down. Like, a lot of those edge controls have chemicals and things like that on them, and it's like you don't want to use that too often. Sometimes yes, but you don't want to use it too often. It's chemicals mixed with the bit of herbs that they put in and a bit of oils that they put in. I'm doing this because we don't know what they really do. They only slap a label on there and you don't know what they're really doing. So put it down. You don't have to do it all the time. I'm not telling you what to do and what not to do. I'm just telling you what I did to get through the phase. And just find an oil that works for you. I know some people have scalp conditions, so with their scalp, the oil and stuff, it might agitate it a little more. But there are certain oils that are helpful even when you have a scalp condition that you can utilize. Find one that works for you. Oils aren't bad, contrary to what some people believe or how they believe certain ones are. They're not bad. They're containing herbs that help fight a lot of those conditions like the balding and excessive shedding. That's why they're great to use. So, and the last thing, make sure, I think I mentioned this in the beginning, but making sure you're taking a multivitamin, I didn't mention it, multivitamin, and I take a probiotic that's herb-based. Make sure you're taking those. That's going to help combat with that as well. My hair looks very different from when I wasn't taking vitamins for the 2 years that I stopped till now. And so I'm going to keep taking the vitamins. It just makes it stronger because I also don't eat like chicken and beef and things like that. The only thing I still do eat is seafood. But for everything else, I don't eat like red meat and things like that. So I do take a multivitamin. And I noticed it has helped my hair tremendously. You can drink, this is just extra boosted stuff. You can drink smoothies. You can make smoothies. Those are good. I drink one every day. I buy those from the market. It sounds crazy on top of water. So we do a lot of that. You know, if you're somebody that you just like, oh, I don't want to be too healthy, smoothies are pretty good. Don't sleep on the smoothies, okay? So that's pretty much it. Those are all my tips. I hope they help you guys. I hope you can implement them so that you can get back to growing your hair out after postpartum shedding. Remember, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end. And you're going to get through it. Like how Maxwell says, I know you got a lot of strength left. Like, you will be okay. You got a little life in you left. Your hair got some life left in it. In general, you got a lot of life left in you to keep continuing on even when you have a setback. That's anything in general in life. I love y'all. Y'all be good. And